Hey guys, what is going on, and welcome to the first episode of my Football Manager 2017 series. Yep, that's right, FM is back for the fourth straight year on my channel, and I am super excited to start playing this game once again. Now I want to start off by saying a big thank you to everyone that voted 2 weeks ago to decide what new project we would make on this channel next after I gave you 3 different options. Football Manager came out on top, so I'm more than happy to begin playing this game again. Hopefully I'll be able to make it a really enjoyable series once again, just like our adventure with Swansea last season. Now I'll be starting off in the Premier League once again, but this time we'll be using a different team, and I've decided to take over Hull City in a bid to keep the Tigers in the Premier League and avoid relegation, unlike what happened in real life. The reason I chose Hull is because I thought it'd be quite a good challenge. Last season of course chose Swansea, and we just avoided relegation last year with the Swans. We want to do the same thing with Hull City, keep them in the Premier League, but also because Marco Silva, Hull's most recent manager, just left the club very recently and has now taken over as head coach at Watford. So I thought they've got a vacant manager position and I'm the right man to fill the job, even with the dog filter emoji being on my manager profile. Yep, dog filter every day. So yeah, we've taken over at Hull City and I think it should be a pretty decent challenge. Now they've got one of the weaker sides in the Premier League, and Hull of course started off the season under Steve Bruce, then Mike Phelan, and then Marco Silva took over in January. At the start of the season, Hull's main concern was a lack of depth, but of course over time they got their squad a lot more thicker and more capable, but the team still lacks quite a lot of, real Premier League quality, hence one of the reasons they went down. But Marco Silva did actually do a pretty decent job with Hull. He won, I think it was 8 of his 22 games in charge. So the Portuguese manager didn't do too badly, and he had a really impressive home record as well, up until the final 2 games at the season. But they were still relegated. They finished in 18th place, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to do a little bit better in the game, as opposed to how Hull did in real life, going straight back down to the Championship. So yeah, the team's not the best. It is a pretty poor team. It's going to be very hard to keep this side in the Premier League in the first season, but I think that's what's going to make this challenge really fun. Last season, of course, started with Swansea. We didn't do too well in the first season. We reached the Capital One Cup final, but we only narrowly avoided relegation, and a lot of you guys said one of the reasons why Swansea wasn't the right team to use was because even though we didn't play very well in the first season, we still stayed up, and we had a good enough team to drag ourselves out of any situation right at the bottom. But with Hull City, there's very few players that we can turn to in this side to really give us that sort of extra edge to make sure we do stay up in the Premier League. It's going to be a really, really tough challenge to keep this side in the top tier, and it's no real surprise that I've set the lowest expectations for the team. The budget we've got with Hull in the first season is £6 million, so it's not a great deal. We should be able to sign 1 or 2 more players, but really I would say we're probably stuck with this team for the rest of the season. We're not expected to make many major transfers in the first 2 transfer windows. We'll have to wait until next year before we start doing that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's not a great team. We won't really have that much money to work with either. We're sort of stuck with what we've got, and we'll just have to hope for the best and hope that my tactical masterstrokes can help us stay in the Premier League. That's not a good thing to try and fall back on. But regardless, for new signings and sales with Hull, if you've never played Football Manager before, it might take you a while to get used to what you're seeing on the screen. I'll try and guide you through it as the series goes on. But for new signings with Hull, I tried to negotiate a trial for Ronaldinho just because he's a free agent. And if you watch my Swansea save last year, you're probably thinking, here we go again, signing washed-up, experienced players. What is he doing? But also, I went in for a new goalkeeper as well. Now, Hull have got 2 goalkeepers right now in Jakupovic and also David Marshall as well. Alan McGregor's out on loan. But to be honest, I think we could do with a better goalkeeper than those 2 right there. And I'm once again going to be looking for young talents to bring through and develop whilst being here with Hull. We did that with Swansea, and it's my sort of preferred style when it comes down to signings. I like signing young players to develop for the future, and one young goalkeeper who's apparently really good in this year's FM is Predrag Rajkovic. Maccabi Tel Aviv have the young Serbian goalkeeper contracted to them, and we managed to get a deal accepted of around £5 million, which could rise to £5.5 million. Now that is the majority of our budget spent on one player, but again, there's not really too many players I was that keen on on signing with Hull, because when I was looking at players to sign, looking at players to bring in, what players I had on my shortlist, most of the players that I thought could improve the team would cost us too much money, and anyone else we could sign wouldn't really be much of a step up compared to the players we currently have right now. So because of that, I decided to go in for a new goalkeeper that would be able to replace both Jakupovic and also Marshall as well. And Rajkovic eventually signed for us on I think it was a 20 grand a week deal on a 5-year contract. So yeah, we managed to sign that player there, £5 million. It's a young player to develop for the future. And if you're new to the channel and this is the first series of mine you've watched, then this is the type of thing to expect. I prefer signing the younger players to develop for the future, nurture their talent, and turn them into world beaters as the years go by. I did sign Ronaldinho though, I will put this in. I signed Ronaldinho. He was my second and final signing of pre-season. He probably won't feature heavily in the 1 year he'll spend here, but I just thought it would be kind of fun. A little bit different, something quite kooky, something quite interesting. So Ronaldinho and Predrag are the two signings I made in the summer transfer window, along with selling David Myler as well. Now, as for the objective, as we touched on it, the only thing we're worried about in the first season is keeping Hull in the Premier League. It will be tough. I'm not going to pull a David Moyes and say, you know, announce to the media as soon as I come in, we're in a relegation fight on the first day I take over. But between you and I, that will be the most likely thing to expect with this team. With that being the case, though, I will say this real briefly. I definitely am open to moving clubs in this series. You know, the past 3 FM saves I've done with Everton, Southampton and Swansea, I've stayed at those one clubs. But in this series, if things get a little bit too tough at the KCOM, or you guys think it's getting a bit stale, I wouldn't be against moving clubs and moving elsewhere in the league, or going to a different country instead. So do keep that in mind. I certainly would be open to moving clubs, even though I'm here at Hull indefinitely. But we'll have to wait and see. That's for the long-term future. Right now, we're just worried about developing Hull and keeping them in the Premier League. But that is it for the introduction to the series, though, guys. And in today's episode, you will see the first game with Hull as you take on Everton in the season opener. So not too much to show in pre-season, but the games are the most important aspect. So let's just get straight to it. First game is against Everton. We're away from home, and let's see if we can bag a result in our first game in charge. Okay guys, so we're moving into the first game of this series away at Goodison Park, but just before I pick my team for the game, I wanted to show you this question I've been asked, which I thought was really funny due to what we discussed earlier. Katie Jones says, David Moyes has suggested that your team does not have what it takes to stay up this season. Do you agree? And I'm not about to go on record with a claim that we talked about all season. I'm not that stupid, unlike Moyes. But certainly I'm going to say it's a ridiculous statement, to be perfectly honest. If we're talking about relegation candidates, perhaps Moyes should look a little closer to home. Because he should. I mean, let's be honest, David. If anyone's going down, it's going to be you, mate. I think that's going to be my managerial rival this season. Myself and David Moyes battling it out. Oh, he doesn't want to hear from me. Well, shut up, David. You got nothing, mate. You got nothing. All right, so we're moving into the first game then. It is Everton away. And I would take a point from this game, obviously. I would definitely take a point from this game. I think that we're really going to struggle on the road this year. I feel like if we are to stay up, we need to make the KC a fortress. I think being away from home is going to be our main downfall. But a point in this game against a really strong side to start the season off, that would be a big plus in my opinion, and let's see if we can get it. So this is the team for the game. We're going to stick with a 4-1-4-1. I say stick with, not played the game yet, but I'm going to go with a 4-1-4-1 like I probably will think will be our most preferred choice of formation this year. So we've got the new signing Rajkovic in goal, who I'm really looking forward to seeing on his debut. Robertson at left back, El Mohammadi playing right back, and the CB duo of Curtis Davies, who will captain the team today, and Ranocchia on loan. Huddleston is our defensive midfielder, now stepping in for the injured, where is he, Ndai. And then Henriksen and Mason are our CM duo. I'd imagine this is going to change quite a lot during the season, so keep your eye on that. Grisicky will be our left winger, Markovic our right winger, Abel Hernandez our lone striker, and on the bench, Jakupovic, Maguire, who's not fully fit, Timon, the young left back, who I think could be a pretty decent prospect for us this year, playing understudy for Robertson, Evandro, Ronaldinho, Sam Klukas and Mbakani. So let's get into the first game of the series. We take on Everton. Hoping for the best. I'd certainly take a point. Come on, Hull. Let's see if we could possibly shock the footballing world and get off to a winning start. You never know, right? And it could happen. It could happen. Alright, so it's half time and it's still 0-0. Nothing to report in the first half. I'm playing on key for highlights, by the way. But nothing happened in the first half at all. My camera is 2D Classic as well. Just briefly on this, I know some people don't like the 2D, but I have never really gotten with 3D. I have it on for the replays for those that like it, but I'll never actually play the full game on anything other than 2D or 2D Classic. 3D for me just isn't right in Football Manager. I don't know whether that's the cynic in me, but I've never really felt like Football Manager should be a 3D game. I don't know why. But it's still 0-0 anyway, and there's been literally nothing going on in the first game of the series, which, I mean, it's not great for action and entertainment, but you know what? In terms of our survival chances, I'd certainly take this. There's 13.5 minutes to go, still tied at 0-0. Let's bring on Ronaldinho, why not? Ronaldinho on the left and Bacani up top. This is crazy. There's been literally nothing going on at all. Again, I am on key for highlights, but there's been nothing whatsoever to report. But just as I said, as a corner for Everton, and we might be able to break here. Markovic on the ball, takes it around Schneiderlin, keeps on going through towards Bacani off the bench. What a chance here for Hull. Ryan Mason on the ball, going for goal. Oh, it's gone in! It's gone in! Ryan Mason, the ex-Spurs boy, has put us in front. And totally against all expectations, Hull City take the lead. Joel Robles, the goalkeeper, probably should have done better. This is not a great 3D camera because there's nothing to show. Okay, there we go. And Bacani found Ryan Mason. He went for goal from just outside the area, and Joel lets it squirm underneath his body and into the bottom corner. Everton 0, Hull City 1. Oh my goodness, we may steal the 3 points on the first game of the series. Wow. There is just under 2 minutes to go, and there is a highlight here. This may be the final chance of the game for Everton, as Valencia finds Lukaku, controls it, gives it to Ross Barkley. Final chance, surely you feel. Ross Barkley goes for goal. Oh, just off target. We're hanging on in there. Come on, Hull. 5 seconds of stoppage time to play. We're almost there. Huddleston cuts out the pass, and that should do it. And it's all over. What a start to the series. Everton 0, Hull City 1. We lost the series opener in my last FM series with Swansea, but this is a brilliant way to begin, and to passionately say that was special. Nobody gave us a chance, but you played magnificently. What a result for Hull City on the series opener, scoring with our only shot on target. There was so little to report in the game, but we don't mind at all. David Moyes, shut up, because we are staying up and you are going down. What a brilliant way to start the series. We beat Everton. Oh my goodness, that was completely unexpected, but what a start. Okay then, so we're going to end the first episode of the series there with Hull City top of the table. What a start to this series. I did not see that coming. I would have been satisfied with a point, but end up getting all 3. A perfect beginning to life here with Hull City, and we shall come back in next episode. I'll play through the rest of the summer transfer window, and we'll come back with games. Let's play a Southampton and Arsenal doubleheader. Saints away and Arsenal at home in the Premier League midway through September. So I'll play these 3 games off camera. Any more transfer business that happens, I'll let you know in the next episode. And I'll come back for a game away at St Mary's and then playing host to Arsene Wenger's team as well. But a big thank you for watching the series opener, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, then please do leave a like. Have an awesome Sunday, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the first episode. And I will see you for the next episode of our Football Manager series with top of the table Hull City. It won't last very soon. Bye.